Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. It's time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mian Mosen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, then you'll love Missing by Mian Mosen Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. It takes place in 4 countries with 2 strangers and 1 target where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mian Mosen Zia has garnered great reviews and is even loved by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today. Order Missing by Mian Mosen Zia, now available at Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartradio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mian Mosen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mian Mosen Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mian Mosen Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mian Mosen Zia, available on Amazon. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. Heard worldwide on Geo7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. And follow Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And support the Mike Wagner Show at the mikewagnershow.com. Click donate. Also support FM. Or Anchor FM/support. Also go to PayPal as well, too. Just look up Mike Wagner voiceover. And for some cool gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/The Mike Wagner Show. And for great books and more, go to our sponsor, Amazon.com/Mian Mosen Zia, and order today. We're here with a wonderful author who's spent many years as an editor, writer for various publications, and a regular contributor for the LA Times. Her fiction, nonfiction has appeared in numerous literary journals, anthologies, newspapers, and she's author of the ebook Baggage, available on Amazon Kindle. No Thanks, a chapter excerpt from the book, is one of the most read stories of all time at fictionaut.com. And she's come from Queens, New York. She's a flower child from the flower child era, and came to California around 92 or so, and currently in the city of Angels, and live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful, sunny Los Angeles, California, the very, very multi-talented author of The Stone of Ghosts of Santa Monica, Karenkarlitz. Karen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's great.
I love your introduction. Sounds great.
Well, it's great to have you on board as well, too. And by the way, Karenkarlitz is part of the Beacon Publishing Group, and we'll be talking about her latest book, The Stoner Ghost of Santa Monica. Stoner Ghost. Okay, yeah. I think my editor just gave me the wrong title here, so I'm going to have to give her some coffee here. So the Stoner Ghost of Santa Monica. I think these ghosts that just made me mispronounce it, so I'm going to give them some more coffee as punishment on that one. So.
Right, I think so. That could happen. That could happen when ghosts are around.
Right, exactly. And not only that, you also have Baggage, which won an award. We'll talk about that. And you grew up in Queens, New York during the flowerchild era. Also spent many years as an editor, writer for various publications, and a regular contributor to the LA Times and more as well. And before we get into all that, tell us how I first got started, Karen.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
I said, tell us how you first got started.
Oh, how I first got started?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing that I loved more than anything, even more than lunch or gym, was writing. And I've read about a lot of writers saying the same thing. It was just like something that they felt compelled to do, and because they enjoyed it so much. Mm-hmm. And I would say, going back to grade school, that was my thing. And as a matter of fact, in my high school yearbook, it said, it always says in the bottom, "What do you want to be?" And I actually wrote freelance writer.
Uh-huh.
So I got my wish.
Wow, that is very amazing. And here you are today, being an editor, writer, contributor to the LA Times. You also got a book as well. And what was that one precise moment that influenced you into what you're doing today?
I can't say that there was one. Oh, do you mean for the Stoner Ghost? The idea of the Stoner Ghost? Because every book came with a different idea and a different, characters and stuff like that.
It's not that part, but we will talk about that later. But I'm talking about what was that one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing today. So what was that one moment that simply said to you, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life?
Oh, there actually was one moment. I don't remember the name of the movie. Movies were very popular, as always, I guess, when I was young, and I used to go with my friends. And there was a movie about, can't remember the name, but it was a movie about a newspaper.
Uh-huh.
And probably if we looked it up, we could probably figure it out. But and just from seeing them sitting there in their offices typing away, I said, I have to do that.
Wow.
So I don't know. I don't even know if it was the writing as much as it was the typing at first.
Mm-hmm. And this was based on a movie. It was about a newspaper.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Wow. Okay.
A movie based on a newspaper, and it was just, they made it just look so wonderful to me. I mean, somebody else might have been influenced by a book, a movie about, I don't know, anything. But that was the movie that got to me, the movie about being part of a newspaper team.
Wow.
Which is absolutely, and I've done that, and and it's just been the most wonderful experience. You meet the most interesting people.
And it does sound interesting as well, too. And who are some of your favorite authors and writers growing up, or in the case of newspapers, maybe journalists?
Well, of course, I love Pete Hamill. If you're going into newspaper writers. Some of my favorite authors through the years would include T.C. Boyle, for sure. Have you ever read anything by him? He's just absolutely amazing. Let's see, Henry Miller, for sure. F. Scott Fitzgerald.
My favorite.
Margaret. Yeah, amazing. Really, really, truly. I really believe I was really very much, my writing was very much influenced.
Mm-hmm. Great Gatsby, one of my favorites, yes. Great Gatsby, loved it.
Oh, Gatsby, I know. My goodness. I wrote that last paragraph over and over and over again to get it into my head. I can't remember it. I wish I could remember it by heart. But I believe you know the paragraph that I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Just really phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, and lots more. New ones, older ones. I do like classics too. Love Theodore Dreiser. Very eclectic taste, I'd say.
And you talked about some of the movies, including the one that influenced what you're doing about a newsroom in a newspaper. And what are some of the other favorite movies growing up?
Let me think. The other movie. Oh, of course, I was a girl. Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh, yes.
It had to be Breakfast at Tiffany's, and I don't know if I could think of any just out of the site. So many. I loved. I'm not a big war person, but I did love some of the great war movies. The one with Jane Fonda,
Mm-hmm.
Going Home.
Going Home. Yes,
And-
I remember that one.
Yeah, and there was another one too about where they played Russian roulette with I wish I could remember the names, but
Deer Hunter?
you get to be a certain age, and it's not so easy to come up with the names just like that. Then you get off the phone and you remember.
That will happen, and I'm sure things will come up later as well. Right. And
especially if you grew up in the 60s and the 70s. That will especially happen.
right.
Yes.
And you also grew up in Queens as well, too. You're a part of the flowerchild era. So what was that like for you before moving out to Los Angeles?
Well, I have to say it was a lot of fun. We did a lot of things we shouldn't have done, but we really enjoyed ourselves because we had very close proximity to get into Greenwich Village, and just had a fabulous time going into the coffee houses there. We were a little young at that point to actually, hang out at some of the cafes. I think it had to be 18 to be drinking then. I'm not quite sure, but it was just an amazing time with amazing people, and just you'd be walking in the street and you'd bump into Jim Morrison.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. I mean, really, stuff like that would happen, and it wasn't unusual to go to a party and be at a party with. I remember being at a party one time with the Byrds.
Oh wow!
And they were wearing their wings or something. I don't know, some kind of crazy get-up. And so it was a wonderful time, and not everybody had not everybody wanted to do that then. Not everybody was so into that kind of situation, let's say. But my group of friends, we enjoyed that. So that was our time of fun. And now, unfortunately, people growing up, people in their teens and early 20s and even 30s are having a tough time. They can't even go near anybody. So it was a very different time. It was just it was an amazing time to get close to people, to really get to know people, to just have wonderful conversations with people. And it's unfortunate that it's not like that at all, but maybe it will return to that again.
And I'm sure one day as well, too. We'll talk about your writing career, including being an editor-writer for various publications, also the LA Times. We'll talk about Baggage and the latest Stoner Ghosts of Santa Monica by Karenkarlitz of Beacon Publishing and more. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give a shout-out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international war-ring author Mia Mosinzia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Mosinzia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mia Mosinzia has garnered great reviews and even loved by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Mosinzia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show. Also, well, wait, there's more. Just like the Ronco commercials, wait, there's more. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. Heard worldwide on Geo7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And don't forget to support The Mike Wagner Show at The Mike Wagner Show /support or donate. You can also go to PayPal, Anchor FM to support as well. And you can also check out the cool merchandise and other goodies on Amazon.com. You can check out the latest T-shirts on The Mike Wagner Show at Amazon.com. And for great books and also some great gift ideas and cool ideas and more, go to Amazon.com/MeandMosandZia, and you can order today. We're here with the wonderful and multi-talented author Karen Karlitz from Beacon Publishing here on the Mike Wagner Show. We'll be talking about the book, The Stoner Ghosts of Santa Monica. And also, before we get to that and also get into baggage, and you've been an editor writer for various publications and regular contributor to the LA Times. And talk us about that and how you first got started.
Oh, with the LA Times? They actually gave, I was able to get a position where every Saturday for a few years, they would give me a topic to write on, an interview topic to write on. And not unlike what you're doing, only it was done in print.
Right.
And they would give me the subject, and I would come up with the article, which usually almost always involved an interview with at least one person, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
And all the topics were so varied. I mean, they went from nurses, the shortage of nurses, which is interesting because this is very long. It was a very long time ago, and yet there's still a shortage of nurses.
Oh,
so,
yes. It sounds like
right?
It sounds like a time warp going into today. It seems like.
I know. So much of that is so true, and yeah, and nurses. If I could put a little plug in for them, and I'm not a nurse, but they are the most wonderful people, the most wonderful, caring people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how they find. They're like angels. They really are. They really are.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my plug for nurses.
Right, and my mom's a retired nurse as well too, and I got some friends on Facebook who are nurses. Yes, and she was doing it for years before she retired and went into psychology, counseling work, and of course she's a very, very happy grandmother as well. So God bless her as well, and God bless all the nurses. Yes, very compassionate, I'll tell you.
I know, and I've been in situations. I've been in, I did mention I did have some serious illnesses throughout my life. Not throughout, but at times in my life, and it makes all the difference in the world to have a nurse who really cares. All the difference in the world, because I've had both. I've had great nurses and, let's say, not so great nurses.
Uh-huh.
But for the most part, fantastic, unbelievable. Tell your mom I said so, please.
We certainly will do so, Karen. And what was the most interesting subject that you've done when you're with the LA Times as a contributor?
It was, I hate to say, but it was such a long time ago. I can't remember. Probably something maybe pertaining to the homeless situation, which wasn't as bad at the time, but certainly has come to be a terrible situation. Like I said, the subjects that I was given were so varied. I had nothing. The subjects had nothing to do with me. They were given to me, and I just did the best that I could with them. And yeah, I think there was one time where they wanted me to interview Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he refused. So
really? Oh, my gosh. That would have been great. He would have been like, interview, hasta la vista, baby. I may or may not be back.
I know, and maybe I couldn't understand what he was saying, so maybe it was just as well. But, yeah, I was disappointed at that. I thought, like it would be a fun thing to do, but no, it never came to pass. So, anyway.
Mm-hmm. And you also did numerous literary journals, anthologies, and newspapers, and maybe just a bit more about those outside the LA Times.
Well, it's a great way for new writers to start out is to definitely submit to literary journals and get known in that situation, and it really helps. It's not like the first thing you should shoot to do is, not that you shouldn't. I mean, that's fine if you want to, but it certainly helps to have, before you start submitting books or screenplays or whatever. It's good to have a number of published nonfiction and fiction stories, in your bio.
And also too, this also led up to your first ebook, which is called Baggage. You also won You also won an award as well too. Tell us about Baggage and tell us about the wonderful award. And by the way, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a great organization. The Jerry Jazz musician, they have a fiction writing award, and they're very much interested in the era of the 60s and the 70s, which is interesting, which is why they were interested in my work. And I won the award 1 year for their best fiction, and it was just it was an excerpt from my book Baggage, and you just have to do a little twerk here and there to get an excerpt so that it has a beginning, middle, and an end, and makes sense to people. You can't just throw anything in. You have to work on it so that it makes sense to people as a whole, rather than just something thrown on a page. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot of fun to do those.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Baggage won the award as well too, and just really hits home with some of the things like mother-daughter issues, sibling rivalry, money fights, and everything else. And And of course, it almost seems like this kind of happens in today's times.
Oh, absolutely. People have all sorts of situations with their families and growing up and stuff like that. And I wrote about, at a time it was the 60s and 70s, but I wouldn't imagine it's that far different than what goes on now.
Uh-huh. And of course, where can we find Baggage at?
That's on it's Kindle, Amazon Kindle.
Amazon?
And it's Amazon, you could just look it up on Amazon. And it originally came out as an ebook only, and now it's an ebook and also a paperback book.
That is
it's very easy. Very easy to get.
And that's very easy and amazing as well, too. We'll talk about the Stoner Ghosts of Santa Monica with author Karenkarlitz of Beacon Publishing and more. First, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for early needs. And brought to you by our official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international war-winning author Mia Mosensia of Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with author Karenkarlitz of The Stoner Ghosts of Santa Monica after this timeout.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real-life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple, and more. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn, where The Mike Wagner Show interviews great guests, cool conversation, lots of laughs, coffee, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device, subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today.
Hey, this is Ray Powers. And if there's one thing you can count on in these unpredictable times, it's that you're in good hands getting some great radio, courtesy of The Mike Wagner Show.
We're back with author Karen Karlitz of Beacon Publishing with the Stoner Ghosts of Santa Monica here on the Mike Wagner Show, and a very, very interesting book, Dean, about Henry Davis, and I guess it reads on there that you live in Santa Monica, 2 blocks away from Henry and more, and tell us about the Stoner Ghosts of Santa Monica and what inspired you to write it.
Well, I as I said, I was going through a serious illness, and I had lots of time to worry and wonder what happens to people after they die, which a lot of people just avoid the thought entirely. But I don't blame them. But it is interesting when you think that not one person in this whole world knows what happens to what happens when people die. So I was really fascinated by that, and I guess that'll never change. I wish somebody would come back and tell us what goes on. But instead, I made up my own story about the afterlife. There are lots of stories, books and movies written about the afterlife, but I wanted mine to have an optimistic spin. And Henry is a combination, a mix of a number of people I've known in my life, interesting people, and he very quickly, having grown up in the 60s and 70s again, he quickly realized when he went down to the pool, well, you can't, they can't see. The ghosts can't be seen by the living people. Mm-hmm. He lives in a building in Santa Monica, a rent-control building in Santa Monica where there's a pool. I'm sure you've seen buildings like that. It kind of like Melrose Place. It kind of looks like the Melrose Place set. And he goes down to the building and quickly realizes that he can get high with inhaling the secondhand smoke of the stoners that live in his building.
Uh-huh.
And then he makes friends with other dead potheads.
Oh my gosh!
Building. And he meets lots and lots of people. And like I said, they can't see him. The people who are alive, they can't see him, but the ghost people, the dead potheads, can see what the other people are doing, and it involves with a lot of interaction between the like he had an ex-wife, for instance, who he hated, and there's a whole lot of stuff that goes on with him and his ex-wife, who ended up living in the building, and that's how he ended up living in the building, because she took his urn and she moved him into that building. So it was it's a pretty amazing situation when all these people kind of get together. But they, like I said, the dead can see the well, they can't really interact, but they can, but they can't. The living cannot interact with the dead. That's the important issue. But that's easy that's easily brought out at the beginning of the book.
And of course, just Henry, the spirit, goes through a lot of adventures, like go on a surface bike, helps a buddy in apartment 105 find a dead mate in TJ Maxx, or getting on a cruise ship to Cabo. It's like, I kind of love to do that stuff. I'd rather be on a cruise ship by now, without COVID, of course.
Right, I know. Oh, I miss cruising. I do miss cruising. But they had lots of fun. Yeah, I couldn't have written this book if COVID was going on. But I guess I could have, but it wouldn't have been quite the same, because they got to do things that during the COVID age you could never do.
Mm-hmm.
But they had just lots of great times, meeting lots of great people, going to lots of great places, and living in Santa Monica, and just a few blocks from the beach, driving around, and a live person's they jump in the back seat of the convertible and they take off. Obviously they couldn't drive, but their live cohorts did. So.
And what can readers come away from the book after reading it? What can they learn from it?
What I found from speaking to people who read the book and also getting good reviews on the book was that they loved the fact that even though these people were dead, that they had such a great time.
Mm-hmm.
And it made them happy. It made them happy, and gave people pause for thought that, gee, maybe that can happen. Maybe there is that kind of situation when people die, and then they really get to enjoy themselves.
Mm-hmm. And that's a very important point as well, too. And where can we find the Stoner Ghosts of Santa Monica at?
That's also on Amazon, and in paperback and in ebook, and it's also listed in other booksellers.
Uh-huh.
I didn't memorize all of them, but there's a bunch of them. The usual ones, I would say, you could find, and easy to look up online, and easy to find the names of the other booksellers. But probably the most books are sold through an Amazon, whether it's ebook. Ebook seems to be pretty popular.
Mm-hmm.
These days, just in general. But actually, a lot of paperbacks are sold too. But yeah.
Mm. That is amazing as well, too. Once again, we're here with author Karen Karlitz of Beacon Publishing, talking about the Stoner Ghosts of Santa Monica, along with baggage and her career with contributing to LA Times and more. And just a few more minutes, Karen, we'd love to have you back on as well, too. You've been absolutely amazing. And what can we expect from you? No problem. And what can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond, Karen?
Well, actually, I am trying to get an anthology of my short stories published. It's called Relations in Ruins, Collected Stories, and it's basically about that. Generally speaking, the stories in Relations in Ruins supports one simple theme. We are all predisposed to having screwed up relationship. And, husbands and wives, siblings, any combination, lovers, friends, mothers, fathers, and their children, blood relatives of any distance. We're all these relationships and more are hardwired for being problematic. With the level of, the higher the level of intimacy, the higher the likelihood and magnitude of issues. And we see this, in everybody, well, not everybody, but mostly everybody, unfortunately, sees that their relationships are in some way screwed up. So through the years, I've had a lot of stories published. I'd say about half the stories in this collection have been published in journals and, in college journals and in anthologies and things like that. And in my opinion, just great stories like here's a title, a sample title in the book is called "My Boyfriend Was a Lunatic." That's one of my favorite. And "Falling Apart," and "What My Parents Did on My Summer Vacation." I could go on, but so I'm looking for a publisher, at the present time for that collection.
All right, we're certainly looking forward to that as well, too. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career, Karen?
If you're talking about a writer, are you talking about a writer?
It can be that or just in general.
Well, I think if we're talking about a writer, I think I have to say Henry Miller.
Okay.
Yeah. I just like his straightforward, his straightforward style.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds pretty good. All right, that sounds
But
pretty...
otherwise, nobody in my family was a writer.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, that's actually a good start as well, too. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
As far as writing?
It can be writing or just about anything.
Well, several years back, a friend told me that the best advice she had was to tell yourself you're going to sit down to write for 1 hour. And just for 1 hour, you put the clock right there. Or you look at the bottom of your computer screen. Mm-hmm. And 1 hour doesn't seem daunting because it's such a short, realistic goal. But often what happens is that an hour passes as you continue writing without even noticing that 2, 3, even 4 hours have gone by. Of course, this doesn't always work. If your screen remains blank, get up and try again. Hopefully, sometime soon, successful writers don't know when their words will flow. But if you're not in your writing position, there's no chance they will.
And no cheating on social media either. That's another point. So no cheating on social media. So
well, I don't know what that means.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So I don't rely on social media just to get your ideas. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, you know what? I wondered about that. I don't know too much about that. Do you think that happens a lot?
Well, I think that may and may not, and we'll talk about that next time we have you on. You give us an update. Once again, Karen Karlitz, author of The Stoner Ghosts of Santa Monica, from Beacon Publishing here on The Mike Wagner Show. Karen, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon.
Thank you, Mike.
No problem. And do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love to have you back. And lastly, before we go, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your books?
Well, I'm very active on Twitter. And as a matter of fact, you mentioned that you were on Twitter as well.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
So one of the first things I'm going to do today or tomorrow is join your Twitter.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think Twitter is just, I don't know that much about Instagram. I'm not that much into photographs, but Twitter for me is a great spot for writers, to get to know other writers. It's just fabulous. I mean, and in no time you end up getting more followers than you ever dreamed of, and that can keep going and going. So and you learn things. You learn so much from other writers, and so far I haven't seen anything terrible happen on there. So I hope it stays that way. It's a good place, I think. So I haven't had any trouble.
Yes, it is, and it's not just for the birds.
Right, exactly. It's easy is.
Exactly. And once again, author and Karen Karlitz here on The Mike Wagner Show. Karen, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely great. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor. Keep us up to date. Love you back on in 2021 and beyond. And don't forget to keep in touch.
Thank you. I enjoyed this.
No problem. And don't forget to keep in touch.
I will. Absolutely. Thanks so much, Mike.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real-life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, Custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartradio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.